Welcome to Poseidon's Daughter, a channel of spiritual support, learning, guidance, community, and just uplifting and sharing all that good stuff. So I just wanted to start off with some messages that I was getting. I did a reading and I've got a spread here that I'm looking at. I can hold up some of the cards. It's more about the energies that I want to talk about. And the focal point of the reading is the obstacle that I think a lot of us are dealing with right now in our lives. This is a collective energetic message. It is about lust. It is the temptation of it, the obstacle of it, wanting to feel good at any cost is the energy that I feel like a lot of us are coming up against. So with the coming up against lust, the other energies that I use in combination with oracle cards and other messages that I've created myself, that I've handwritten, and I'm utilizing numerology. The numerology number that I pulled was 7. And 7 is very spiritual. It's about being curious and analytical, intellectual, and a thirst for knowledge. So this is pertaining to a very spiritual strength. And I think that this collective is that this is what this community is all about, that I am building here for my channel. And the two, I pull one Chinese zodiac energy, but 2 popped out. And the 2 that popped out were the rooster and the rabbit. So we have 2 predominant energies here. The rooster being an energy of a very hardworking, punctual, detailed, oriented, and confident. And the rabbit is more about longevity, peace, prosperity, and a lot of luck. Both dynamic, but in a very different approaches in the way that they go about it in life. And the opposite side of that energy, because there's always an opposite side to every energy that you have. The opposite side of the rooster is cocky, overly controlling, sharp-tongued, and vain. And the rabbit is can be a pushover, pessimistic, avoid aggression, and doesn't like to take risks. Isn't a big risk taker. So the other side of the coin of that. So the foundation of this reading, the element that came out first was fire. And the secondary element was air. And the tool that's being used is the heart chakra. So with 7 being the energy, which is a spiritual energy, this indeed is about spiritual quest, spiritual thirst for knowledge. Fire, if you know anything about tarot, the wands are all very spiritual, and are the fire representing the fire element, the fire signs. So something that is a passion, an idea that is got a secondary air element. So it could be something that you speak on, something that is very intellectual, and something that you do through your heart chakra, or that utilizes a lot of this, or that is the tool that spirit wants you to work on or wants you to be aware of. It's going to be different for everyone. So the card that was on the bottom of the deck after I pulled all the cards was number 18, Treasured Memories. So this is pertaining to nostalgia, looking back on the way things used to be. And I feel like this is very relevant to what we are going through in this coming up on this 9-year. Things are not going to be and I think a lot of us are aware of this. And this is the end of the year, and people are looking back on things that they've done, and they're looking forward to like what's going to happen. But so a lot of us are in the energy of looking back on nostalgia and the way things used to be. And there's going to be a big iconic development in your listening, getting in touch with your awareness of listening. I equate this card to be like the high priestess, the knowing of what's to come. And there's going to be an iconic, potentially download or understanding or awareness where we're going to shift and get into this, tapping into this awareness unlike we've ever had before, which will lead to a quiet bliss. And number 41, your home in the sky. This is a card that I equate to the Four of Wands, if you're familiar with the tarot. So with the home in the sky, the flexibility to feel at home anywhere. And again, we're having a reference to the sky. And if you are understanding of what's going on in the world today and the events that are happening up in the sky, the challenge of wanting to feel good at any cost. There's interesting here. I'm gonna how that fits in with this read. I'm gonna tell you when we get there. But right now, this is just going in the order of the foundational structure of this energy and how it's evolving. So we're developing our listening skills, an iconic download or an iconic awareness. It's going to lead to some quiet bliss of knowing that your home is where your heart is, and whatever that is, and understanding maybe the home is in the sky, or maybe the home is coming back. Maybe that's why we're having these treasured memories. Maybe some of us remember remember them. And the next card I pulled was desperate for gain and starving for gold. And that might be the lustful energy that is supported by this white rose of hope, which I equate this to be the star energy. And it also is a new beginning in something that is heart's desired. So it could also be the Ace of Cups here. But the desperation to potentially heal something, the desperation to potentially start something new, with this inner child, and number 8, rose garden. And in the rose garden, you can tell she's looking back here, again, looking back on past events, looking back on where you came from on your path in this journey. And your inner child is looking back on, maybe you're looking back on your life and your inner child is assessing things. This is interesting. So, white rose of hope, desperate for gain, starving for gold. Potentially those of you that are in the rooster energy that are working so hard and very detail oriented, the negative side of that is just being overly controlling, and the focus is too much on yourself, and the desperate for gain and starving for gold, and wanting this hopeful, loving new beginning. Your inner child is wanting you to take a look back on some things. Maybe you need to do some inner child work. Maybe you need to take a look back at those things that are going on. And then it could also be that those of you that are the ones that have maybe a lustful energy around you, you're looking back at this and how this lustful energy caused maybe a lot of this energy to occur that you hoped for this new beginning, and you're seeing that, and maybe you're rising up, utilizing your inner child, using your joy, using the skills that you've learned in your shadow work, if you've evolved in that. So there's many different approaches with this collective read that people are going through. And if you're the rabbit and you're more about, peace and prosperity and luck in this easy kind of happy-go-lucky kind of way about things, that might be what you're doing with that. And the rooster's a little bit more detail-oriented, and maybe is getting overly detailed. You can be overly detail-oriented and not really seeing the bigger picture, because the focus starts going more on you, and sometimes just letting go and letting the process unfold organically. So there's a middle ground between the rooster and the rabbit energy. Be in the middle of that. One is more easygoing. It's still prosperous. It's very lucky, but it's more about peace and longevity, and just kind of like, I kind of imagine like a real easygoing surfer, like, just going kind of, you're just really like, hey man, yeah. And then you have the rooster on the other side of the spectrum that's all about the time and super confident. And not that the rabbit isn't, but the rooster's just a lot more punctual, and it's got to be, and the rabbit's a little bit more lackadaisical. Being somewhere in the middle, and those two energies will give you the frequency that you're looking for, that will help you attain this passion, this fire in this spiritual quest that is causing you to look back on nostalgia. And then I got murmurs, but I got it upside down. So this card for me equates past things murmuring in your ear, past messages. Again, we're getting, it's because murmurs would be, and it's upside down. So instead of it being something that's murmuring to you from the past, this is something that's happening now. So there is liberty, is the Justice card, and also the Two of Swords. So there's a decision that's happening now that's going to bring you a lot of balance and justice in your life. And all you have to do is get out of your own way, and all the bird has to do is fly out of the cage, basically. And freedom is yours, liberty is yours. And this is happening in the now. Bird's warning is right next to that. So listen for the signs. Birds potentially as well. We've been seeing a lot of that. I think some of y'all might be seeing a lot of bird activity, some strange bird migration. Some birds will be some of the first animals sometimes to let you know when something big is happening. And this bird's warning is pertaining to number 25, protective nest. And this card I equate to the Queen of Pentacles, who is a mother figure, who's very abundant in the physical world, and is also very nurturing in that way, and a really strong provider financially, or even just being very grounded. So this one's a bit more about protection, though, in that way. And she's got an egg right there. So this is a warning to protect whatever it is that you're growing right now, whatever it is that you've worked for, that you've attained, and whatever this spiritual, fiery, inspirational quest is, and that you're doing with so much love, or that is strengthening your heart chakra, or that you're utilizing as a tool, or that is opening up for you. It's the main focal point in this. And the secondary energy is the air, so you may be utilizing it through something spoken or something very intellectual. It's got a lot of thought behind it. Riddle was upside down. So that means this is no longer complex. This is no longer confusing to you. Number 28, can you hear me? So it's about speaking up. It's about, again, with the secondary energy being the air energy here, speaking up on understanding that it's not confusing to you anymore. Maybe this decision that you have to make that's going to bring you a lot of justice. When you speak up, when she uses this shell to blow into, you feel like you're emotionally out here. You feel like you might be emotionally out here on your own, but you do have the capability to use your voice, to use your skills, to reach out and do that. And whatever way that is, it's going to be different for everybody. But it's been illuminated to you. It's not a riddle anymore, because riddle came in reverse. Pursuit. Number 32. Touch the sky. Here we go again with the sky being so relevant in this reading. So a pursuit of this card is very, reminds me of the Hermit, because she's like in isolation up there, but she's letting down her hair like Rapunzel. And so even though you feel like emotionally you're isolated, like she feels here with the water, intellectually you're going to speak on it and you're going to let your hair down to make that connection. Because you have so much wisdom in this hermit-like energy. You've been secluded, but now you're ready to let others come in, and you are pursuing this. And I feel like the lustful energies that you're dealing with, either within yourself or other energies in your life, are trying to potentially diminish your hope, diminish your star energy, diminish your, Aquarius energy. This is, to me, very similar to the star energy, and we're coming up on the new year. So I feel like with the two different energies here, being somewhere between the rooster and the rabbit, of, yes, it's great to be so fixated and detailed and, being all of those things, hyper-focused on centering yourself in this world. But the rabbit is a little bit almost too lackadaisical, and even though they're very prosperous and they're like peaceful and they have a lot of luck, it's being somewhere in the middle that is going to be the best energy for you to obtain this spiritual, this knowledge that you're looking for, this knowledge that maybe you're lusting for. And not to lust for it so much, but to listen more patiently, allow it to come to you, as hard as that may be in this day and age. And you're just like, well, I want answers. Sometimes it's about taking a step back, protecting what's yours, nurturing and protecting, but keep pursuing those connections, letting your hair down to let people into your space, and whatever way that works for you. Because yes, you are having to protect. So there is a balance here, but there is this liberty coming in, this justice. So that balance is coming in here regarding looking back on all the ways that we have been trying to have this spiritual information and obtain this information. And on my last post, I said that we're not alone. And then I also put in the description box of what my last post was, that you will soon get the answers that you have been looking for. Those answers will be revealed. You will soon be revealing, those answers will be revealed to you. And I feel like this is where we're going to find it, in the quiet bliss of, just making home in the sky. We can look at that many different ways, but just being able to make your home anywhere you live, anywhere it is at all, and finding that quiet bliss between the rooster energy and the rabbit energy. And I just think that's so relevant to what we're all going through as a community. At least I feel I am. And if you feel that way too, please, like this video, or at least, put a thumbs up in the comments or something to let me know that you resonated with the energy read that I just did. And I hope that this is helpful. I really feel like there's a lot of hands in the cookie jar right now, and there's so many people that want a piece of whatever it is. Desperate for gain and starving for gold. There's a lot of people that are wanting this. And as long as you're aware of those energies and you understand who they are, if they're masking, if they're not masking, if they're in your face to where it's hard. I think a lot of us it's hard to not see them now. But if you are starting to see them or you're not sure, then, do some deep introspective work on that. And maybe, some inner child, some shadow work will help you to look back and see those. Because in this card, the Rose Garden, she accepts her life. She looks back at her path and her journey, and she learns to become this beautiful rose garden. She's learning to you can see the leaves are growing on her, and she's becoming this flower and just accepting everything for the way that it is. And doing so, she becomes this beautiful rose in the process. She becomes the rose garden. I kind of equate this card symbolically to the Five of Cups in tarot. And the Five of Cups is looking at the 5 cups, and 3 of them have spilt and 2 are still standing. And you realize you have to go, oh, well, this is a bummer. She looks back and she understands it's a blessing. And she's allowed, this is like the 5 of Cups full circle. She's allowed herself to be grateful for what the lessons and the education that she's learned, whether or not they were fulfilled to her expectations or not. It's what her life path was supposed to be, and she's accepted her life path. And in doing so, she's become a part of it, and now she's at peace, and she's enjoying the journey and blooming in the process. So I think that's the lesson in all of that. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful day and you find gratitude wherever you can.